And finally, this brings us to the big one, the main theme. And it's more or less mentioned in the game 3 times. After having his epiphany of needing some kind of reason to fight, Raiden asks Snake how Snake can do what he does, another of the best character moments in the game.
I'm here because I was assigned to this mission, not because I want to. If I could, I'd be out of here in a second. How could you come back to all this? Why keep fighting?
There's something my best friend said to me once.
What?
We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought for what I believed in.
Later, after a conversation about the fiction that will be made about your actions no matter what, Raiden asks Snake what he's supposed to do.
What am I? What am I supposed to do?
Find something to believe in, and find it for yourself. And when you do, pass it on to the future.
Believe in what?
That's your problem.
And at the end of the game, when confronted with the idea of there being no such thing as absolute reality, Raiden asks Snake a final question.
Then, what am I supposed to believe in? What am I going to leave behind when I'm through?
We can tell other people about having faith. What we had faith in. What we found important enough to fight for. It's not whether you were right or wrong, but how much faith you were willing to have. That decides the future. The Patriots are a kind of ongoing fiction too, come to think of it. Listen, don't obsess over words so much. Find the meaning behind the words, then decide. You can find your own name. And your own future.
Decide for myself?
And whatever you choose will be you.
I don't know if I can.
I know you didn't have much in terms of choices this time. But everything you felt, thought about during this mission is yours. And what you decide to do with them is your choice.
You mean start over?
Yeah, a clean slate, a new name, new memories. Choose your own legacy. It's for you to decide. It's up to you. By the way, what is that?
Dog tags.
Anyone you know?
No, never heard the name before. I'll pick my own name, and my own life. I'll find something worth passing on.
Snake tells Raiden not to get hung up on what's real or not, or what's right or wrong, but to just have faith in what you believe. Choose your own legacy. He's making an argument for free will, and that no matter what anyone else tells you, you're the only one who determines who you are and what the memes are that you're going to leave behind. That's the ultimate message of Metal Gear Solid 2. One of the variations on this theme in the game, and one that builds off of the message about genes in Metal Gear Solid 1, is that children and students choose their own path apart from their parents and their mentors.
No, this is where I belong, with the unit. I have nowhere else to go. Father, I want to stay and fight.
There is no choice to make here, Olga. Need I remind you that you are carrying my grandchild? You will be on the helicopter out of here now.
Damn it.
What do you intend to do?
Russia will rise again. And Ray is the key.
What happened to rebuilding Mother Russia?
The old man is dead. The world is a different place now.
I thought I taught him everything I knew. I have no children of my own, and I thought I found a son in him. I didn't teach him the most important thing I had to tell him. There are some things you have to pass on. The trick is to know which one. Right. All I taught him was skills. And now I have to stop him from using it to destroy us all.
Unless they can't let go of their past anyway, like Raiden.
Unless you kill me and face your past, Jack, You will never escape. You'll stay in the endless loop, your own double helix.
A minor detail you also might not notice that goes with this is that at first when Raiden feels bound by his dark past, he doesn't want to have a child.
I know you want to get married,
I...
but I can't. I can't risk starting a family. There's no way to erase my childhood.
But by game's end, after he feels empowered to choose who he is for himself, he changes his mind.
I think I found something to pass along to the future.
What?
He said all living things want their genes to live on.
Are you talking about the baby?
Yeah, we'll tell them everything together.
Is that a proposal?
This is for your ears only.
Solidus, the so-called villain, even wanted to be on the right side of the theme.
All you want is power at any cost.
Jack, it's not power I want. What I wanted to take back from the Patriots are things like freedom, civil rights, opportunities. The founding principles of this country. Everything that's about to be wiped out by their digital censorship. All I want is to be remembered by other people, by history. The Patriots are trying to protect their power, their own interests, by controlling the digital flow of information. I want my memory, my existence to remain. Unlike an intron of history, I will be remembered as an exon. That will be my legacy, my mark in history. But the Patriots would deny us even that. I will triumph over the Patriots and liberate us all, and we will become the Sons of Liberty!
The subtitle of the game, and the name of the terrorists after all, was Sons of Liberty, an allusion to early American revolutionaries who helped start the war for independence. As Solidus spells out, that's why the finale takes place at Federal Hall.
Do you know what day it is today?
April 30th?
George Washington took office as the first president of the United States of America 200 years ago today. And it happened right here. We were going to declare another independence, the dawn of a new nation, here. The end of the Patriots' secret rule, liberation of this country. This was where it was supposed to begin. This is where freedom could have been born.
If you look at all the other themes we've talked about up until now, they all support the theme of choosing your own legacy as well. There's fiction everywhere you look, and your senses can deceive you, so reality isn't absolute. It's gray. You can shape it however you want. Create your own fiction as reality. And only someone with a purpose can get through real conflict. That's why you need to stand for something. Solid Snake is the very embodiment of free will and all of the themes in the game. That's why he tells Raiden to find something to believe in for himself, and not just to follow what Snake does.
Believe in what?
That's your problem.
It was because of Solid Snake's will to fight against Metal Gears and Raiden's own experience on a real mission that Raiden realized the fiction he'd been told was wrong, and that Snake couldn't turn against his own ideal. The Patriots, on the other hand, represent causality. They are the counterpoint to Snake. They are in the game to do what a good essay and a good story should do, represent the counter-argument. And Kojima makes their arguments as strong as possible. That's why they make such good villains, and that's why I originally was able to project myself onto Kojima's intentions. From their perspective, people have no free will, and they're written that way because they're villains in a story that empower people to exercise free will. That's the real reason they said the line that confused me before.
You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
Even seemingly inconsequential details in the story, like the dialogue about the two Metal Gears, reinforce the philosophy of the Patriots as being against independent thought. Snake's mission involved Metal Gear Ray. Ray wasn't their design, and it was independent. They didn't like that.
So the prototype is ready for solo testing. It's basically combat-worthy. That area is outside the 2nd Fleet's operational range, too. It must be a standalone Marine Corps project, which means this prototype Metal Gear must be designed for independent deployment, without any naval assistance. The Marines' Metal Gear Ray project, headed by Commander Dolph, was carried out in opposition to the Navy's Arsenal Gear project. To be more precise, The Patriots considered Metal Gear Ray to be a thorn in their side.
But Arsenal Gear, the Metal Gear during Raiden's mission, was their design, and it was useless without support.
Arsenal is far from impregnable. It needs other Metal Gears as guards, a huge payload of warheads, and full air, sea, and land support to function efficiently. Against a large attack force without support, Arsenal is nothing more than a gigantic coffin.
Another minor detail that clearly builds on the theme, like in Metal Gear Solid 1, is the key to the Metal Gear itself. It's the free will of the President, which Ames specifically states during his monologue is uncrackable even by the best supercomputers, an allusion to the fact that Kojima is saying even the Patriot AIs can't truly crack free will.
The President's own vital signs, heartbeat, brainwave pattern, blood pressure and so on, are constantly monitored and relayed by his internal nanomachines. This information, along with the DNA pattern, serve as a biometric password, unbreakable even by the latest parallel processor supercomputers. The password entry itself cannot be performed unless brainwave patterns and heartbeats fall within normal parameters, rendering chemical and other forms of coercion impractical. In other words, the login must be made of the President's own free will.
The epitaph at the beginning of the game was meant to make a parallel between the dangers of nukes and the dangers of the digital age, and the Patriots AI represent that with the S3 plan. In their mind, humans don't have free will, so you can simulate everything, control for every variable, and control everyone. They claim that not only are they qualified to do it, but they should do it, because people are easily deceived, selfish, gullible, and self-destructive when left on their own. In other words, in Kojima's mind, that's what humans are when they don't exercise their free will. This theme is the reason you can see a parallel between the Patriots' view of humans and some people's view of the modern internet. It all stems from the commentary on people who never think for themselves, never take responsibility, and choose the easy, comforting narrative, the danger that Kojima's warning people of through Raiden's mistakes. President Johnson's line perfectly sums up how Kojima feels about free will.
Without free will, there is no difference between submission and rebellion.
If you want some good commentary on those who lie to protect their own ego, Stillman's confession shouldn't be overlooked either.
These past 5 years, I've lived a lie.
Lied?
Yes, lied. I didn't lose my leg in the explosion. So many dead. All because of my mistake. All I could think about was hiding from the crime, shielding myself from the public outcry. I wanted people to be sorry for me, for my weakness. I faked being a victim myself because I couldn't bear to face the families of the real victims. This is no prosthetic. I can keep my footing on catwalks and hike over deserts. I lived my life so well, I haven't even answered to myself for my sins. It was supposed to be a shield, and it's become a shroud instead. I've killed my soul by playing the victim. Instead of protecting me, it's made my life even more hellish.
What good can that do the victims?
I know. I'm a coward.
Ultimately, the story argues against the Patriots. They're the villains and hypocrites. They defend their manipulation of information and people by saying they're most qualified to decide what is truth. But considering all their actions, they still are the biggest liars. They rose to power without consent of the people, and ultimately they've been lying, manipulating, and killing people unnecessarily to protect their own power, regardless of what they say. They were just the best liars. Even with all their manipulation, they're not able to control everything. That's why they hate Solid Snake, the embodiment of free will. They try to control him, but they can't. They don't want him to be present during Raiden's mission, but they couldn't stop him.
Don't let your guard down with him.
Why do you say that?
Because they were never a part of the simulation. They're an unknown factor.
When it comes to the Patriots, for all their talk of wanting to select the right information to spread, they never tell us what they want to pass on other than control and distrust of humanity. But Snake and Kojima have faith in us. They want us to know everything we can and decide the future for ourselves.
These are the things I will pass on. That's what I live for. We need to pass the torch and let our children read our messy and sad history by its light. We have all the magic of the digital age to do that with. The human race will probably come to an end sometime, and new species may rule over this planet. Earth may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can. Building the future and keeping the past alive are one and the same thing.